Soul for Sale. Elsie was the best cheerleader in the school. She was beautiful, smart, and very athletic. As head cheerleader, she was the one responsible for all the wonderful choreography and chants that her team was so famous for. Elsie knew, as soon as she'd gotten up top the pyramid, that something was terribly wrong. She'd felt the wobble, but there was a momentary delay until the whole human structure fell and anguishing pain hit her. And when she looked down at her mangled right leg, she realized that her cheerleading days were over. She was 17 years old, with a great future and prospect. All that was gone now. 5 years from that fateful day, Elsie was working as a teacher in a high school, a job that she really hated, but at least the pay wasn't too bad. Elsie was still really beautiful, with many friends and admirers, but her dreams and hopes of ever becoming a dancer and choreographer had been dashed due to the incident. She was confined to a wheelchair. She'd been out with friends for coffee one afternoon and was driven home by Nini, her best friend from her cheerleading days. Nini had become a successful actress. Nini helped her into her wheelchair and pressed the elevator for her. Elsie did not want Nini to help her all the way to the apartment. She hated feeling helpless. As she wheeled herself out of the elevator, a man stepped out of the shadows and blocked her way. At first, she thought it was an attempted mugging and set herself to counter an attack with her pepper spray, but none came. "You can dance again," the figure said. Elsie couldn't make out his features and started to get an uneasy feeling. "What? You want to dance again, don't you?" "Well, yes, but..." "Okay. How much do you want to dance and be famous?" "I'd sell my soul to make it as a famous choreographer. It's always been my dream." "Done. I'll be in touch." He stepped back into the shadows and disappeared into the night. Elsie sat in her wheelchair for a while, trying to make sense of what she had just seen, but then went home and thought no more about it. The following morning, when she got up, she found that she was able to stand unaided, and that walking was no longer a problem. It was a miracle. She could hardly believe it. She wobbled about at first and made a twirl, and soon she was jumping around her apartment, giddy with happiness. She had her breakfast, called in sick for work, and hailed a taxi to take her to a dance studio instead. She started very carefully with some gentle dance moves at first, but soon realized that her leg was as good as new. It was as if her body memorized all the dance moves she saw in the music videos that she watched every night before falling asleep. She danced for hours without feeling tired. At the end of her last set, she heard clapping and turned to find a very familiar-looking woman smiling at her. It was Alicia James, the famous young pop star who had won so many awards for her great music. Alicia was known for her catchy dance songs, and her music videos were constantly shown on TV. "Hey, you're good, really good. You should come and try out for my next music video dance auditions. It's here, today at noon. Please stay on and try out." The audition went very well, and she was offered a contract to become Alicia's backup dancer, and will be featured in all her music videos. Elsie could hardly believe her luck. Over the next few weeks, Elsie quit her job at the school, informed her family and friends of her changing career, and went on a strict regimen of diet and training. Soon, she was back to her level of fitness before the accident. She shot the music video just 4 weeks after the audition and was soon asked to go on a year-long tour with Alicia all over the country. Being a beautiful girl, Elsie soon made news. Everybody noticed the gorgeous dancer behind Alicia and wanted her to be in their music videos. Elsie stayed with Alicia for the whole tour, but after that she became a freelance dancer, only appearing for the highest fees. She was adored by both celebrities and fans alike. Soon, Elsie became as famous as the celebrities she danced for. After 2 years of being in the limelight, Elsie was approached by a major TV network to appear on her own weekly dance show. She was to be the star of the show and also mentor new hopefuls who wanted to be like her. It was called Be a Star by Elsie. The show went into production and was soon a huge hit, attracting record numbers of viewers. Elsie was indeed a huge celebrity with a strong following. She had long moved from her modest apartment into a huge mansion with pools and a state-of-the-art dance studio. After running for a season, her show was renewed for several more seasons, and Elsie signed on, becoming a multimillionaire just 2 years from her first audition with Alicia. It was all very exciting for her. She had invited her friends for a pool party at her new home that evening, but before that, she wanted just to lounge around by herself in her bedroom, relishing her success. It wasn't until she was going down to join her friends around the pool that she noticed the figure. It appeared ominously in black amidst a bright spring afternoon, and no one else seemed to notice. Elsie shivered, and a cold feeling permeated her whole body. She stepped past the man, vaguely recognizing him, but heard him speak as she did so. "Congratulations, Elsie. I love your show. I watched every episode." She looked around, but the figure was gone, and she wondered if she had imagined the whole thing. It took the shine off the day, and she couldn't summon up the enthusiasm for the party, but she had to join her friends anyway. She couldn't hear the chatter and conversations around her as she was still shaken by the mysterious man. Who was he? The figure appeared again at the start of filming for the new season of the show the following week, and again no one else seemed to notice him. But Elsie could hear a voice calling her name from the far side of the room. "I gave it, and I can take it away," it said. "I'll be coming for you, Elsie. You sold it. I bought it." She panicked and recalled the conversation after her night 2 years ago. What had she said? "I'd sell my soul to dance again." What was this man? Had he come for her soul? Surely not. Things like this just didn't happen. She tried to shake the experience off, but it shook her. She went on to shoot the show and did not see the man again until the show's finale, where major celebrities had shown up to cheer her on. She was terrible. She fell down several times while dancing, stepping on her partner's foot in a tango session, and it was embarrassing. Many fans were sympathetic as they thought she might be ill. Some thought she was on drugs. The figure was in the audience, and when there was a break in the show, he beckoned to her. She walked over, drawn to it, and unable to resist. "It won't be long, Elsie. A deal's a deal." "No, I'm not ready," she whispered, afraid that someone might hear. "It's too soon." She recovered her composure, and her form returned to normal. She danced perfectly for the rest of the show, and everyone was relieved. Before the show ended, Elsie had to climb to the top of the set to make a final jump with a harness attached to her. She ran lithely up the steps, and when she reached the top, she saw the man in the shadows. The dark figure stepped up to her, and for the first time, Elsie saw his face. She had never seen anything so hideous before, and as a scaly hand reached out to her, she stepped back involuntarily. Arms reached out to try to catch her as she fell. The fall was over 30 feet, and she was aware of twisting and turning in the air as she tried to grab hold of anything to slow down the rate of descent. The harness broke. She hit the studio floor with a dull thud and awoke bathed in sweat in the hospital. Flowers surrounded her bed, and she couldn't feel her legs. There was no one in the room. It must be very late. Suddenly, she heard a voice. "It's time, Elsie. It's time." Soul for sale. Soul for sale. Elsie was the best cheerleader in the school. She was beautiful, smart, and